Looking for an employment opportunity in the field of structural engineering wherever you may be is a tough challenge. Landing for a job that you ever wanted is another milestone. But how to get there is a big question, because being shortlisted to an interview invitation itself is not that easy. So, when you get an interview invitation, it is better to make the most of it. Nowadays, not only the unemployed are your competition in job hunting, but even those employed individuals are also included, as they are continuously looking for a job, a greener field, as they say. But how can we stand out and get noticed by the employer? Readiness and preparedness is the key to get noticed by the company, as if you are prepared, you will not feel pressured when it comes to the big day. Aside from the fact that a non-technical interview question like introducing yourself and how many years of experience you had is a given question already, here are the 5 frequently asked technical interview questions in a structural engineer's post that an interviewer will ask you about. 1. Draw the shear and bending moment diagram. This is the most common question or task that an interviewer will ask you. This will measure your analytical ability when it comes to designing properly. We all know that structural software takes over the design analysis, but still, a fundamental knowledge in determining the shear and bending moment diagram is important. Usually, the interviewer will give you sets of free body diagrams for you to sketch the shear and bending moments. As an applicant, be sure to be prepared for these sets of questions by all means, and get ready to dig those old notes back in college, if you already have forgotten about it. You don't need to focus on the complex problems, but a quick review on simple shear and BMD problems for a day or two prior to the interview proper is a big help to refresh your stock knowledge about the same. 2. What are the structural engineering softwares that you use in structural design? When it comes to design and analysis of a structure, structural engineering software is being part of it. Sometimes you will ask to model a simple structure to test your ability to use the different structural software. But don't worry, your modeling ability of the structure is usually the task to do. So better be prepared and refresh your skills in structural modeling. If you don't really know what the interviewer is asking you to do, be honest and tell him or her in a polite manner. In case you are wondering, we link in the description below the top 5 structural engineering software that usually asks during the interview. 3. What are the governing design codes and its uses? Knowledge of the structural design codes is another thing to be reviewed before going into an interview, as this is one of the frequently asked questions. You don't have to memorize all the parameters of these codes, but at least you should be aware of the governing code to use. There are a lot of design codes and standards out there, depending on the type of either steel or concrete structure. But the usual codes we are using in structural design are the ACI 318 code or BS 8110 for the design of concrete structures, and IBC, UBC 97 or ASCE 7 for design loadings and combinations, as well as wind and seismic analysis. Furthermore, you should also be aware of the local codes as recommended by the local authorities. So make sure that you are equipped with the possible design code knowledge for the possible questions. 4. Provide a manual design calculations. Simple design calculations are sometimes included in a technical interview for structural engineers, like the punching shear principles, a design of beams or footings, to name a few. So better to be prepared for all of those design-related questions and try to review it, so your mind will be refreshed. We know that you already tackled this previously, and refreshing is a good way to jumpstart to save the day. 5. Detailing and sketching. As a structural designer, interpreting the design result in a drawing is part of it. That is why sketching or providing details is another task an interviewer will sometimes ask you to do. Most of the times it includes general details that are commonly used in structural drawing, ranging from the simple typical details of beam reinforcements, footings, wall, to raft reinforcement details, wall sections and pile foundations, to name a few. If you think you are struggling about the detailing and sketching, looking back to the structural drawings of previous projects that you made is a big help to overcome this task. Is there anything you can add to the mentioned interview questions? Tell us your thoughts and comment down below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.